How did you come to be a part of The Hater? Was it pitched to you, or was this something that just found its way to your desk?
Joey was my assistant. She was my
Oh,
assistant for a couple years. And she, to me, is like this tireless, energetic, powerful creator. And she was amazing when I had her by my side. And then that little bird went off and flew and created and
mhm.
started to make short films and movies. And she always wanted to do it and was kind of, I think one of the great things was that I was able to have her on set with me and she was able to kind of really see the ins and outs of the business in that way. Also just like going to work and like honestly the integrity it takes to show up when you're on that call sheet and you show up on time, you know your situation, you know your lines, you know everyone's name and how they've been doing. And so we were able to kind of do that. She could watch me. And then she went and wrote and created this incredible short film called Joy Joy Nails in another language that she doesn't even speak, which I thought was incredibly impressive. And then she wrote this and put together like this amazing cast. So, for her, I'll show up for her any day, anytime. I mean, I love that girl. And I think that, in this business, we know how hard it is to get a movie made. And as a young girl who's a writer, director, and star, you very, very rarely see that. And I think that this is something that she should be really proud of.
I agree. It's super cute, and I think that everyone just excels in their roles. And I was curious, was there some sort of backstory that you were given about your character, who's this local reporter?
Yeah. Well, she wants to get to the big time, and it's like you think about that. And I actually live in like a smaller town now and I see smaller town journalism. And it's like, is the hope and dream to be like, hard hitting,
Diane
MSNBC,
Sawyer.
CNN, Fox News, whatever that is. And I think that, I always have loved that world. I wanted to be a news broadcaster after I left school. I was supposed to go to NYU and I ended up coming to Hollywood and taking a different direction. But that was always something that I loved. And you kind of look at Vicky and, you see her kind of take this little journey in the movie of, grabbing the story and wanting to sensationalize it, and then kind of getting to the real point at the end that she just really wants to connect with an audience and give them information, but in a way that's a little bit more palatable.
And Joey just does a great job as Dorothy. She's playing double duty. She's director, she's writer,
Triple.
exactly triple duty.
Yeah.
Yes,
Triple threat.
she is a triple threat. What was it like for her to be directing you while also co-starring with you?
So she knew the movie inside and out because she wrote it. And TJ, the DP, who I think did an amazing job as the DP, I think the film looks really beautiful. They already have kind of a second hand. So they have a real connection. And then, when you see her working with costume and you see her working with sound and everyone, she really spent the time to know everyone and to go over it before we started filming. Because when you're shooting, like, I think this was like 22 days, like when you're going like that, there's no time for kind of the in-betweens. But she always tried to make sure that everyone had their chance to do another take if they wanted to. And it was pretty loose, like we did the lines, and then we got a little improv going on, and we kind of were allowed, even within that short time frame, she would see a scene and see if something was popping out of it and kind of make sure that the camera was grabbing that. And I think that that made it feel kind of bigger, because she was able to find all these really organic, very cool moments that were happening. And it's hard to do what she did, and I'm really proud of her, to go on screen and then pop behind, come back. I mean, there wasn't a ton of replay. We weren't doing a ton of that. She was really, trusting that TJ had the eyes to see that he had the moments that they needed.
So then did she offer you the opportunity to play Victoria a little more empathetic to Dorothy, or was Victoria always just super ambitious? Let's get this story out here because my face needs to be out here.
I think that that's kind of the journey of it. Like she gets, oh my God, this is her moment. She hears about it in her car, she races to the scene to find out. She calls her the convenience store hero. She claims the name, she gets the first exclusive, and to kind of build her up. And also, then realizes there's a little bit more to this story. And you kind of see, I think the movie is about women building up women and empowering each other, believing in each other, even when we don't make the right choice. And I think that she does a really great job of taking, left versus right isn't good versus evil or backwards, like she has a way of finding the humanity in all these characters. And I think that's, something special that she was able to do.
There are so many super funny and fun moments from filming and seeing this. What were some of your favorite moments that stand out to you?
I think definitely shooting at the gas station, like popping in there and sitting in the back of the van and like shoving the microphone in her face and trying to get the story why she's in this like traumatic moment. And I feel like we see that on the news all the time, sadly. I mean, I remember just seeing it over the Olympics. You know, this girl didn't make 2 of her runs and this journalist like kept her on air for like 45 minutes. Like, how does this make you feel? And she stood there like, I questioned the last 10 years of my life, and they're holding on the camera on her. And I think that's horrible. You know, I just think it's so distasteful when journalists do that, and don't really take a moment for the humanity of someone who's going through something. And, you know, with this character, you know, I wanted to run right into that. You know, she wants the story and she's not going to wait and see, you know, she made sure she was okay, but then she was going to get the exclusive.
It was less about being sympathetic.
Yeah, she was not sympathetic in the beginning. And then she ends up starting to believe in her story and what she wants to do. And then, you know, it's really her hometown where all the women come together and start to really stand by each other.
That's what I really liked. It's less about politics
Yeah.
and more about human beings and lifting each other up and things like that. And it's so good because it's in a comedic way as well. I really liked that. What do you hope?
Those heartfelt moments, you know? I mean,
Yes.
when you do comedy, it needs to drop down and get grounded. And I think Joey was able to find those real grounding moments, you know, which for me really just make a movie like this super special.
Well, that's a perfect next question. What do you hope viewers take away from watching The Hater?
I hope they just get a moment of reprieve. I hope they get to have fun. I hope they get to, you know, the big thing of the story that she was saying, which I mentioned earlier. I hope that, you know, it doesn't matter if you're right or left, that we can try to start understanding each other and not just, you know, kind of taking this overall cliche of who we think we are. And, you know, even coming out as pandemic, I hope that we are coming out of it with more empathy and more humanity for each other. And I think this movie kind of tees you up in a comedic way that you can have fun and watch it, you know, but at the same time, you know, kind of takes on some of these points of view.
Are there any other projects you've been busy working on lately?
Yes, I have 3 movies coming out this year, which is crazy. I have a movie called The Last Victim, which I'm very excited to come out. It's like a neo-Western. And it's about a woman whose husband gets killed and she's getting hunted down in the woods. And you see her kind of from like this uptight kind of, you know, no kids. And she's working in New York City and she needs to take a break and pop and Klonopin to, oh my God, she's in the woods and how is she going to take care of herself? And you see like her carnal nature come out. So that was super fun to film. I'm excited to do that. And then I was in Louisiana a couple months ago shooting The Man in the White Van, which is, it takes place in 1973. And, you know, for me, I don't get to do a lot of period pieces. So just taking on the costumes and the whole look of that was a blast. But it takes on a more serious subject matter about like stalking. And I'm the mother who doesn't always hear her daughter's words. We weren't kind of thinking in that direction, and how she's kind of numbed down into being a housewife and how that kind of reverberates through the house. So with Madison Wolfe and Brett Basinger and Sean Astin. So that's a fun cast. So that was great. And then I just got the rights to this book I've been trying to get for 5 years. So I am like, when that is on the dotted line, that's the next year of my life. I'm going to go make this. And it's something that, you know, is relevant and is a very difficult subject matter, but it's so like heartwarming. It kind of breaks your heart open. And it's just a story that I've really been looking forward to tell.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the wonderful work you've done over the years?
So much. Oh my God, you're so sweet. Well, I'm thankful that I still get to do it. You know, it's like, I'm a mom now. I've been in this business for 25 years plus. And the fact that I've been able to be in big movies, be on great shows, make independent films. You know, for me, it's like, now you kind of know there's like a lifetime spans, like peaks and valleys. And there's moments where you really get to savor your time. And there's other times where, at least for me, I get to be home and be a mom, a working mom, and take care of my kids. So, you know, I'm just grateful that people still want to see me and I get to tell the stories that I want to tell.